talk about the GEMS, and GEMS is just a different way that we talk about people living with a dementia. So I've actually put all around the room information about the GEMS that at some point we will be talking about. And so what I'm going to start with, I want to read some sentences to you. And let's think about some of the words. So, your mother has moderately severe dementia. Sally is a 3 on a global deterioration scale. Brian's father is suffering from Alzheimer's disease. I saw your brother yesterday, and it appears to me to be a profound dementia. It's not certain, I'm not certain, but I'm pretty clear it might be MCI. Another, oh, I wouldn't be concerned, it's only benign forgetfulness. And a couple more, you know, your sister could be moving from mid-stage to end stage. Now I can say this is a moderately severe dementia. She is definitely severe. Let me underline some words for you. What do you think in this sentence? Well, I'm gonna underline the words and then we'll talk. Mid-stage, end stage, moderately severe, definitely severe. Moderately severe is a 3 on a global deterioration scale. Brian's father suffering from Alzheimer's disease. Your brother, profound, MCI. I wouldn't be concerned. It's only a benign forgetfulness. What do those words sound like to you?
Clinical terms.
Clinical terms. Do they say anything to you?
Not necessarily. They are very unspecified.
Benign forgetfulness, is it?
Like, it's a contradiction. Benign would be associated with cancer.
How do you think a family member of someone that comes to visit in our community, how do you think a family member of someone living with a dementia-related illness at any part of the progression would feel about you talking like this about their loved one? How do you think a family member would feel?
They're going to be clueless.
Yeah,
They're
they're
not
gonna be
using words
confused.
that they can relate to.
They're way above their head. They need to keep it more layman's term
Yeah.
in a way that they understand the information you're trying to convey to them.
Mm-hmm. So, what might the impact be for the family member when you're using these words? Go ahead, Debbie.
A lot of them sound life-threatening,
They do sound.
Yeah.
Why do you think
Severe.
that is?
but people live with dementia for a very long time.
Right.
And these sound like
They're gonna die
it's
now.
come time now to make a decision.
It's come to make
It's
it.
more acute.
But
It
the
sounds
mon-
very
you
acute.
should- Right, even.
When you talk about living with a dementia illness now, how do you do that where you are? I mean, what do you say? What have you been using up until now?
We use a lot of words like support
Mm-hmm.
and how your mom or father will be successful, still living independently.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do baby steps wise to support them along the way,
Right.
to give them quality.
Modification.
Yeah.
Modification.
You still want to allow them to feel that they're independent and they're, have control
Right.
somewhat, even though family has to become involved to try to help curtail it so that they're in a safe environment and to make it safe for everybody.
Good. I'm curious though, as you read through all of this, are these the ways that we've sort of been talking about dementia throughout the years?
Yes.
Yes, we have been. Why is that? Not enough information?
We didn't know as much.
We didn't know as much?
Prior.
But what do all of these say to you? Do we have a language?
Yes, but we're not utilizing it effectively.
We don't utilize it effectively. but we really, I wanna show you a little clip that, that TIPA has, produced, that I think will give you a greater understanding of why we're now trying to change the way we talk about dementia-related illnesses. Because right now, aren't we confused? Right now, when we deal? What, look at all the terms here. Bonnie, read these terms for me.
Are you confused? Moderate, early, severe, profoundly severe, middle stage, 1 to 6, 1 to 7, early, middle, late.
Right,
Now I'm mixed up myself.
right, exactly. Why would you be mixed up, right? Isn't this clear? No, not in the least. So TIPA has come up with another way that we can talk about people living with a dementia-related illness. So I'm gonna move on to that, and let's see what she says. Here we go. This is our workshop today. It's all about the GEMS. So let's take a look.
I want to point out that over the course of the afternoon, we've addressed some skills that should help you out a little bit. It's just the beginning. We're just touching the surface. Remember, this session was all about awareness of how to help. Getting connected, and the PPA is one.
We'll talk about that a little bit
And
later.
then we can also get into the verbal stuff. But right now, we're just working on the basics. Ways of cueing and helping. And what's the primary thing you've learned today? Give the visual first, add the verb.
I want to get to a little bit further
Only
on.
when those are connected do you touch. We've got to quit the touching first. That's got to stop because it results in bad outcomes that we blame them for. But what I'm going to tell you is you or I would do it if we didn't have impulse control.
Get
And
into the
we get
GEMS.
tired of it when we step away because we have the ability to. What if you're trapped behind a locked door? I hope somebody has the skill that I need to keep me safe and feeling comfortable. Hand under hand. We've been doing a fair amount with hand under hand because by mid to later disease, it becomes a major way of getting people started, helping them move, and gets us out there.
I'm gonna go, I wanna just take this a little bit further. There we go. Little technical difficulties here. Okay, well, I've had some difficulties technically, but no bother. I want to go on and explain a little bit to you about the GEMS. And the reason why I had that slide up there that said, "Are you confused?" is because it has been confusing. There have been many different ways that we've talked about people living with a dementia-related illness. And there have been the global deterioration scale. You could be a 1 to 7. An occupational therapist came out with the Allen cognitive levels that talked about the different levels. Could be 1 to 6. Do you want 1 of something? Do you want 7 of something? We've had many different ways up until now that we've tried. We've had early, middle, or late. What does that say to you? It really doesn't say too much about where a person is in the course of the disease. And we know that it could go from 2 to 20 years, and as TIPA says, 8 to 12. So I'm talking a little bit about the GEMS. And she was able to think, well, what's precious and what's unique? And what is precious and what is unique that Thibaut talked about was gems. And when we think about gems, what do we think about?
Jewelry.
Jewelry. And what about jewelry?
It's pretty.
It's pretty.
Sparkly.
It's sparkly. So, and so she came up with the progression of the gems, and the way she talks about it is how unique and how precious people are living with a dementia-related illness all along the course of their disease. And each person living with a dementia is unique and precious. And the way we talk about this, and I want to get to this slide because I think it's really important to understand that what we focus on, do we focus on the donut or do we focus on the whole?
The sprinkles. Oh.
The sprinkles. We spray on the sprinkles. That's the best part. Right. Yeah. Well, good point. You can keep going with this, Jenny. So, when we look at the donut, what's the first thing we see? Icing. Okay.
No,
but
the whole.
we
Actually,
do see the whole, right?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, so we don't focus on the whole. And the point is that when we're looking at someone with a dementia, again, as I said this before, we have to remember who has the healthy brain. We do. So don't we want to focus on the whole person? We don't want to focus on the whole. We want to see what's happening and why it's happening and what does it mean and what could I try. We have to know the person. And here are the living gems. And this is what I wanted to talk about. The gems progression, it helps us to understand how to give the right setting, how to have somebody to give the right setting so they can shine. And every step of the way, sapphires, diamonds, emeralds, ambers, rubies, and pearls, each one is unique and precious and in its own way. And each one is very, very different. And we'll talk about this more as we move on with the training. Each one needs its own sort of care. Each one has different ways that they express their needs. Someone who's in a diamond state, and we'll talk about what that is as we dig into this, is much different than someone who's living in the ruby state. Remember in the beginning we all colored in these pictures of the brains?
Yes.
And what did we say at the end about the difference?
It's 8 different visions of the brain.
Different visions of the brain, and what does that mean for a person?
Every case of dementia is different.
Every case of dementia is very, very different. So, we're gonna dig into this later on, okay?